What's up, guys? See, everybody's filing in. The room is actually filling up very quickly. It's awesome. So we're just going to give everybody, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so to get in here. What's up, guys? Yeah, we got some people dropping comments. Feel free to do so. I'll kind of go over this again here in a few minutes once everybody files in. But the way I'd like to structure the webinar today is kind of forward thinking. So I know a lot of you guys are going to want to implement this, today, tomorrow, next week, a month from now in your business. And when you go back to watch the recording, you're going to want the meat of the content right up front so that everything's laid out for you, very easy to follow. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go through the strategy front to back, and then at the end we'll have all the time in the world for questions, whatever you guys want me to go over at that point. If I need to go back and do something again for you guys, I'll do that. That's no problem. But I'd like to save the questions for after the end. That way the recording is nice and clean for all of you that choose to watch the replay once this is over. Tons of people in here. We got 100 people in here already. It's awesome. Cannot hear me clearly. Does anybody else having trouble hearing me? I got a mic right in front of me. Okay. Awesome. Can you guys see my screen? Is my business manager sharing properly? Good. Yes, it is. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know, guys. I appreciate that. This is a great turnout. Really thankful all you guys came out today to see this live. It's exciting. Been working on this strategy for months, almost like intentionally, but also not intentionally, because I'm always split testing new things. I'm always trying to come up with new ways to do things. And I suggest all of you guys do the same thing. Now, it's important that you're not trying a lot of things at the same time, because then you can't interpret your results. The way that I like to do my testing is 90% of the campaigns I launch are exactly the same. The way that I teach it in Keys to Consistency, everything is very consistent with my strategy 90% of the time. And then I allow for a 10% deviation from that strategy so that I can split test new things that I want to work on. And so that's what I've been doing over the past few months. I've always been doing it, but I've been testing something basically very specific over the last few months, trying to make it work. And a lot of you guys are going to laugh when you hear what it is. I'm really excited to share it with you because it works perfectly with the stuff I already teach. That's why I call it the hybrid. It's a mixture of two different things, and they go together very well. All right, so we've got about 50 new people that just dropped in since I started talking. So just want to reiterate, I'm going to go through the strategy front to back real quick here at the beginning. And then I'm going to allow time for a Q&A. And if I need to revisit anything in the strategy, if I need to show something again, I will do that. But I'm just kind of thinking ahead as far as how I want this recording to look when you guys are looking at the recording a week from now, 6 months from now, whenever you guys are launching these strategies. I want it to be very simple for you to follow from beginning to end. without a whole lot of interruption, a lot of, me stopping to talk and answer questions. So I want to try to save that for the end portion of the webinar. Now, the beauty of this new strategy is that I have simplified it, right? So everything, those of you, let me see, I don't think I've ever used a poll in my webinar here. Let me see if I can do that. Just a second here. All right, so I just put up a poll. Let's see if you guys, how many of you guys have the course? Just kind of give me an idea of what type of an audience I'm talking to. And yeah, if you guys have questions, you can definitely put them in the question and answer box. And once it's time for the questions, I'll go in there. And I think you guys can actually like upvote other people's questions too. So read everybody else's questions. And if you want to hear an answer to that, make sure you click the upvote and I'll get in there and make sure I get that question answered for you. So here we go. Let me get the screen back up for you. Okay, so it looks like about almost 3/4 of the audience has keys to consistency. So a lot of this is going to be very quick for you guys. You're going to pick up on it right away. You already know how I launch my testing campaigns. You already know how we scale. And so you're going to be able to wrap your mind around this a lot easier. But for those of you that don't, I'm still going to give like a brief intro on how I do my testing because it does impact this strategy. I think it's very important. Like everything that I teach, it works the best when you're using the whole picture. And so I want to make sure you guys don't miss any pieces. Great, okay. So we'll just go ahead and turn that off there. My little notepad here. Okay, so we're going to talk theory really quick. I want to explain what types of products that you guys should be using this strategy on. I mean, ultimately, I've chosen in my business to deploy a kind of higher risk version of this where I'm using it on almost everything, if the product is not a like on fire A winner where I'm going super aggressive. If it's not that perfect, amazing winning product, then I'm using this strategy right now because it's working so well for me. And I highly, that's going to be my personal recommendation. But the safest way to implement this, if you want to have the highest rate of success, is to use this strategy on a product that has been running. So when you launch a product, you guys all have these products where it'll get a couple sales the first day and it dies off. You'll have some products where they get, we launched 6 ad sets for our testing and keys to consistency. And sometimes you'll get one ad set and it gets a purchase every single day, but the rest of them never get a purchase. So you'll get like one purchase every single day on this one ad set and it just kind of coasts for a couple of weeks. And there's really nothing you can do with it. You try to scale it and it dies. Those products are great for this strategy. So maybe you got 3 ad sets, got a purchase, and then it didn't get anything on day 2 or 3 during testing. That's another great product for this new strategy. So the ideal product has been running for like 1 to 2 weeks at a low budget and was never really able to scale. Maybe you tried raising the budgets and it didn't work out. You had to scale it back down, or maybe it was just sitting at like a 2 or a 2.2 ROAS, and you never really felt comfortable scaling it because there's not a whole lot of margin to play with. Once you raise that budget, it's going to take a dive. And so those are the perfect products for this because this scaling method is not vertical like what I normally teach.
a lot of the scaling that I implement is all about hitting big numbers. That's why you see my students doing $50,000, $60,000 days, $100,000 days, because I teach vertical scaling, teach you guys how to shoot for the moon. And that's what my primary strategy is all about, because I'm not really concerned about making $200 a day. I want to make $20,000 a day, right? That's the mindset that you guys should have. But why not try to make as much on the base level as possible? And that's what hybrid scaling is all about. So this is more of a horizontal scaling. It's more of a low budget scaling method. But as with everything that I recommend, it has a certain level of consistency that you can rely on. And so it took me several months of running it on multiple stores, running it on multiple business managers, multiple ad accounts before I got to the point where I was comfortable and I could say, this is not a fluke, this is consistent, okay? So we're gonna dive into, this is a basic testing campaign. So 30% of the people here don't know how I run my testing campaigns. And so this is important. So let's say you have a product that you want to test. This is how we set up our interest. And I'm going to actually just go through and make one really quick. All right. So we always go for conversion, right? Go straight to purchase. This is how I set up every single one of my campaigns, guys. Okay, I'll go straight to purchase. You see, this is an ad account that I set up just for my course. Obviously, that's why there's no data in here. I didn't want to accidentally reveal anything. And I have access to dozens and dozens of accounts with clients that I work with, so I cannot risk accidentally sharing information with people. Some people would be very angry with me if I did that. All right, so let's say we're selling a pair of shoes. Actually, the example we'll use is the pair of shoes that I posted in that YouTube video that I recently put up. All right, so let's say we're going for shoes. So we're just going to target shoes. We're going to make it real simple. These shoes are for men, so we're going to choose men. We leave the age group 18 to 65. I never change that. It always stays 18 to 65 plus. We're going to leave the location as United States for now. Right now, automatic placements is working best for my business. It's been the most consistent, and it's also really easy to launch ads with automatic placements. You don't have to nitpick. So I highly recommend using automatic placements right now. We're gonna leave the daily budget at 20. I get a lot of questions about budgets, and honestly, it doesn't matter. Use whatever you're comfortable spending in your business, okay? This is almost a personal question. It's not really a performance question. It's more of a personal question. How much money do you want to spend today? And so, clients that have a smaller testing budget, I recommend going $5 to $10 a day. My ad accounts, I generally just go with 20. It's a simple way to launch a product. So we're gonna do $20 a day here. And all right, we got our Facebook page set up. Instagram account, same as the Facebook page. We're gonna do a single image creative. I've already got it plugged in for you. So these are the shoes. I sold 40,000 units of these a couple years ago. So we're gonna do our ad copy here. My ad copy is 1 to 2 sentences. All right, keep it simple, keep it clean. Most people that are browsing on Facebook are not interested in reading a novel. They're very picture oriented, they're image oriented, video oriented. They're not necessarily copy oriented, okay? So the copy really is just there to reiterate what the image is saying. So these are leather shoes. That's really all your copy needs to talk about, is how they're nice and they're nice leather shoes and they're comfortable or something like that, right? And then just use as many adjectives as you can. That's the best advice I can give you. So we got our Oxford shoes, put our product title there. Okay, I'm just gonna make this simple like that. And then whatever our discount is. Okay, so like let's say they're 50% off. Maybe we'll put that there. All right, we'll just send them to type3pl.com, little plugin, shop now button. This is great. Oh, and I forgot, I still put links in the description and I put them in the button. Okay. Yes, you will have a replay, Arnold, don't worry. Okay, so that's it for the initial ad set. We're going to launch that really quick. Okay, now we're going to go into that campaign and we're going to duplicate this ad set 2 times. We're going to take one of them. We're just going to change the location to Europe. Remove US. We're going to go to the other one, change the location to worldwide. Okay, and this is important. The reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because it is important to know where this product is selling, whether it's selling well in the US or Europe or worldwide. It's important. It makes a difference. Okay, and it makes a difference for hybrid scaling. That's why I'm talking about it. So now we're going to take all 3 of those and we're going to duplicate them one more time for a total of 6 ad sets. And on these 3 new ad sets, we're just going to change the interest. We're going to leave everything else the same. So we're just going to change it to sneakers. Let's go ahead and publish those. Okay, so that's how we launch. We launch with 2 interests spread out over 3 locations, US, Europe, worldwide. Now, as this product runs, okay, we're going to turn off an ad set if it doesn't have an add to cart at $10. We're going to turn off an ad set if it doesn't have a purchase at $30. Most of you guys are already familiar with this strategy. It's important to have key metrics. So, you know, if your cost per click's over $3, you should probably turn it off. If your add to cart's over 10, you should probably turn it off. Those are indicators that it's not a winning product. It's just too expensive to run. All right. So now at this point, let's say this product's been running for 4 or 5 days. And let's say this ad set is the only one that got purchases. And it's got like 4 purchases over 5 days. It's somewhat consistent, right? You've got this feeling there's something going on here. It's getting some purchases, you know, almost 1 a day. I want to see if we can find some more pockets of audience to scale this product out. Obviously, raising the budget of this would be very high risk. It would most likely kill it. But you have found a little bit of traction with that product. Okay, so now we're going to take this one interest, and we're going to duplicate it into a new campaign. Okay. Just gonna, for the sake of organization, going to deselect this and go into the new campaign. We're going to duplicate it 2 times. So we have 3 ad sets now, okay? 1, 2, 3 in this new hybrid campaign. Now we're going to change the interest of 2 of them. The goal here is to have 3 different interests in this campaign. So the original one that I was doing was dogs, but let's just say we're still doing the shoes. So let's say the original interest that did well was shoes. Then what we want to do is find 2 suggestions that are similar to shoes. Pretty much whatever the first 2 options are, that's what I go with. So footwear, the next one is going to be sneakers, right? So if I type shoes in here, the next suggestion is going to be sneakers, okay? Whoa, it's jumping around. Okay, and it looks like we're doing well in the United States based on this theoretical product that we're scaling out. Okay, so that's important to recognize as well, that it's working in the United States. So this is phase 1 of the scaling. Now we're going to go out here and we're going to throw a little curveball at you, and we're going to turn it to CBO. And we're going to change it to $30. Okay. Now I have been messing around with CBO since it came out. Okay, I know that I've been talking shit about CBO for a long time, and it's because it's extremely inconsistent, but I finally found a way to make it consistent, and it's with this one little, this very specific strategy for hybrid. Okay, and that's why I call it hybrid, is because we're using ad set budgets and CBO. Okay, it's a combination of the 2. It's very important to use both of them in the strategy. So we're going out to CBO, and we're going to launch it at $30. And we're going to use CBO. In my experience, I've spent over $200,000 testing it. It's only working right now with 3 interests, 3 ad sets, 3 different interests. I don't know what it is about that, but it's working for me. So this was on men in that testing campaign that we launched. So we're just going to pretend we picked up where we left off with that. We keep it on automatic placements, 7-day click, all that's good. So we're going to launch this. Now we're going to take that campaign if it ever publishes, and we're going to duplicate it 5 times, okay? For a total of 6 campaigns. Now, in my experience, if this strategy is going to work, you're going to find that this is where it's very similar to my initial strategy, is that you're going to find that 4 of these are going to be profitable, okay, right? So the way we identify a winning product with my initial testing strategy is that 4 out of 6 ad sets are profitable. That's how we identify a winner. Now, this is another way to test to see if it's a winner. If it's a winner with hybrid, it's going to get a sale on 4 of these. So I usually let these run till they spend $60. I don't even if none of them get a purchase the first day, I still let them run. That's the way that I've been doing it, and it's been paying off big time. So I let them all run, all 6 campaigns. 4 of them should get a sale. Now, if 4 of them get a sale, maybe 3, whatever it is, you're going to turn off the ones that didn't get a sale. Obviously, you don't want to run stuff that's not making you money. So we're going to jump into phase 2. So phase 2 of hybrid scaling, let's say these 2 didn't get a sale, but these 4 got a sale, all right? If these 4 got a sale, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into each one of them one at a time, and I'm going to analyze which interests are performing the best. This is very important, guys. So generally speaking, majority of the time that I've done this, out of all the products I've run it on, usually there's like 1 interest that's just bombing and the other 2 are carrying all the weight. And so what we do in phase 2 is we identify that pattern. So in the 4 of these, usually there's 1 interest that's not performing very well. So we'll go in and we'll dump that interest, okay? So let's say shoes was the initial one that was doing well, so it's probably gonna keep doing well. You know, maybe footwear bombed, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace footwear in all 4 of those. I'm gonna take it out, and you know, obviously I would need to select the correct ad sets here. Let's see. Is it the first 3? Oh, I thought I was gonna get lucky. So we'll go back to shoes here and see what the next suggestion would be. You know, maybe I'll try boot or something. All right. And let's see if we can find the 3rd one. Actually, there'll probably be, I guess, 4 of them. Okay, so now we swapped out the interests that aren't doing well, okay? And then we're gonna let this run for 3 days, okay? So phase 2, we're swapping out the shitty interest. We're gonna let it run for 3 days. Now, in phase 3, okay, so this is hypothetically 5 days into the hybrid scaling strategy. In phase 3, you have 2 options, okay? And I have tested both of them, and they both have an equal success rate of working. So honestly, it doesn't matter. You can either double the budgets of the campaigns, okay? You can dump them up to 60 here, or you can duplicate them out to 60. It doesn't matter. The success ratio that I've found is about the same. So maybe you want to test both. Maybe you want to raise all the budgets and duplicate into 6 more at 60. Okay, so you can totally do that. Actually, majority of the time I just do both, and then I turn off the ones that aren't profitable after a few days. Okay, so phase 3 is raising the budgets. Now we're doing a little bit of vertical scaling. We're trying to figure out, we're stress testing this. We want to see how high this can go. Now you want to let this run for another 3 days, 72 hours. You want to be safe. You don't let it run. Let it find some momentum. Okay, and at this point, you're going to scale again. So phase 4 is another round of scaling the budgets or duplication, whichever one you think is working best on your ad account. I just do both personally. I just raise the budgets and scale it and duplicate it. And you can go as high. I mean, if you're pulling amazing ROAS, which some of my products are getting like 7 or 8 ROAS with this strategy. And if that's the case, I'm jumping up to $300, $400 budgets on the campaigns, $600, $1,200. So it depends on the performance at this point. If you're getting like a 2.5, then you're probably going to max out at $60 a day. But it just depends on the performance of the initial scaling. So if you're started at 30, you raise them up to 60, you want to see where they're at. I mean, maybe at 30, they're still baseline and you can't move to phase 4. That's totally fine, right? The whole purpose of the hybrid scaling is to make the most out of those products that were underperforming. And you're already making a lot more money off them at $30 a day than you were just leaving that one ad set, right? Or letting it die out or whatever. So we scale this up. Phase 5. So let's say that strategy worked. Let's say phase 4 worked. You're running $300 a day on these campaigns. Now, every phase that we move into, fewer and fewer products make it into that phase, right? So not every product's going to make it to phase 4. Not every product's going to make it to phase 3. Not every product's going to make it to phase. I got 7 phases written here. So not every product's going to make it. Every phase you get to is a little bit harder. It's a little bit more of a stress test, and that's fine. You just push it as far as you can. So phase 5 is launching into new areas. So we've only been pushing this product into the US. Okay, so we're going to take, let's say we've got these up to $300 a day, and this is our best performing ad set now. So what we want to do is we're going to go six duplications. We're going to drop it back down to 30. Like we're starting all over, but we're going to do it in a new area. I've been finding that the majority of the campaigns that do very well have been worldwide for this method. And so, usually you're going to be scaling worldwide first. And if that's the case, then you're going to double down on the US or Europe or whatever. Let's say US was the one that did really well, like in this case, in this hypothetical scenario, then we probably backtrack and we go to worldwide. And so now we're going to launch 6 new campaigns at $30 a day to worldwide. And now you're starting phase 1 all over again in new areas, okay? Now, so phase 5 is literally just starting at phase 1 again, but in new areas. Phase 6 is dialing down into very specific countries. So a lot of the times worldwide is the one that does well. So phase 6 is going to be launching $30 campaigns into the United Kingdom, into Germany, into Australia, into France, into Canada. That's what phase 6 is all about. It's about getting very specific with low budgets. It's more horizontal, okay? So, you've scaled this thing up as high as you can. You're $300 a day. You've spread it out into as many areas as you can, like broad targeting. You've spread it out broadly as much as you can. Now you're dialing down into specific countries, okay? Now, phase 7 is just another take on this. We're basically skipping ahead into advanced scaling. So now we've really proven that this product has a lot of strength at this point. If it's gotten this far, this product's actually really awesome. It just didn't meet the initial testing requirements of my original strategy. We just had to find another route to make it work. So now we've made it work. What do we do in the final stages of scaling for keys to consistency? We go into expanding, right? So once we've done that, now we're going to go back to our initial testing ad set. Which one did we use? Let's just use this one. So like, let's say this was the initial ad set. It's probably still running at this point, guys, right? This is usually what happens, is the initial ad set that was getting 1 sale a day that started this whole thing is still running. And so now we're going to stay in that first campaign where we're still using ad set budgets, and we're going to launch 3 new ad sets. And we're going to go right into, we're going to remove the interest. We're going to jump right into expanded. And in this scenario, because this product struggled with vertical scaling at the ad set, on ad set budgets, we're not, I mean, if you're really comfortable with this product at this point, maybe you scaled it to $600, $1,200 a day in the campaign levels in the CBO budgets. You could totally jump at the $500 budgets. What I've been seeing working pretty well is $100 or $200 budgets here. Okay. So US or whatever the initial location was that was doing well, and going into expanded. So that's phase 7. All right. Is kind of deviating back into the original scaling method. All right. So it's just a recap. We've got a product that's got getting 1 sale a day or something like that. It wasn't able to scale. Maybe you had 2 ad sets that were doing well. Anything that didn't scale properly, or maybe it just died off. It got a few sales for a week and then it died off. Those are wonderful products for this strategy. Phase 1 is taking your best performing ad set, duplicating it into a new campaign with 3 ad sets, okay? CBO, $30 a day. Each ad set has a different interest, okay? So shoes, sneakers, what was the last one that we did? Footwear, shoes, sneakers, footwear, okay? And then we're gonna duplicate that campaign 5 more times. So you have a total of 6 campaigns. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is finding the interest that performed the worst out of all of those campaigns you launched. You're going to find the one that performed the worst. You're going to remove it and replace it with something new. Obviously, you're only doing that in campaigns that are profitable. You're turning the ones that are not profitable off. Okay. If it passes phase 1, it's because several of the campaigns were profitable. Ideally, 4 of them, 4 out of 6. That's best case scenario. Maybe 2 or 3. If you, let's say you only had 2 of them got sales. If that's the case, then this product's not going to be moving into phase 3 and phase 4. But if it got 4 of those 6 campaigns got sales, then it's very likely going to make it into phase 3 and phase 4, right? This is all about incremental, data analysis and moving into the next phase and being aware of what has happened and making decisions based on that data. Everything should be very systemized and simplified, okay? So phase 2, removing the worst interest. Phase 3 is raising the budgets and or just duplicating to higher budgets. I always duplicate into 6 new campaigns, always 6. And the reason for that is because I want to see a majority of the data prove consistent. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but majority of the ad sets need to be profitable. If the majority of the ad sets are profitable, then every time you do another duplication set, the majority of the ad sets are going to continue to be profitable because you have the majority of the data has proven that. All right, so now we've raised the budgets or we've duplicated. Either way is fine. I do both. That's totally cool. Now we're going to do it again. Phase 4 is scaling again. And this time being as aggressive as you think you can. Going to $300, $600 a day is totally fine. Okay, so duplicating 6 more campaigns up to $300 a day. And you can do this incremental scaling like that, 300, 600, 1200. You can do this. I'd say that that's all under phase 4. You're doing as much vertical scaling as you can in phase 4. That's what that's all about, okay? Phase 5 is starting phase 1 all over again in new areas. Worldwide, Europe, US, that's phase 5. Phase 6 is dialing back down into individual countries, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, Canada, wherever. You should be analyzing your data. You should be looking at the breakdown and looking at the countries that it's getting the most sales, right? So you can go in here, break it down by country, and it'll tell you where the sales are coming from. Dial it down into those countries that are getting sales. And then phase 7 is going back into the original scaling method. We're going to go back into our ad set budgets, and we're going to launch expanded interest. Okay, so that's it. 7 phases. And actually, what I'm going to do for you guys is send this written plan out for you too. I think that might be helpful to give you guys a written version of this, so you can see it in the video and then also have a written strategy. So now I'm going to open this up to questions, and yeah, and then we'll just kind of, you know, organically figure out what you guys are interested in learning here about this this new strategy, and make sure that everybody feels good moving forward with it. So I'm opening up the question and answers. I don't know if you guys can actually see the question and answer box. We get 115 questions in here, so bear with me as I try to figure out the best place to start. Yeah, so when you guys upvote questions, it moves them to the top of my list. So upvote the questions you want me to answer. It'll make it a lot more organized and easy for me. So how am I dealing with shipping times during this period? You know, Tiny 3PL has special lines, and that's what we're using. It's a little bit more expensive, but the shipping times with the special lines are awesome, right? We're still seeing less than 2 weeks in the majority of countries. Now, I did just communicate with my business partner, and we got a new list of countries that we're strongly recommending not selling to, and I can look into putting that out there for you guys. It's the problem with it is that the situation changes every single day, right? So every country in the world has its own situation that it's dealing with. They have their own political situation. They're making their own rules. They're, you know, make their own travel restrictions. And so the situation is rapidly evolving every 24 hours. And so we just try to communicate the best we can without confusing people. But yeah, special lines are the best way to go for shipping times. Should we focus on home type products to take advantage of people being at home? Yes, please think about that. Think about what are people doing right now in their homes, and be creative. Just if you can't come up with any new ideas, just kind of observe yourself or a family member, and or go on Instagram. What are people posting on their stories? What are they doing all day long? Find things that meet that that fall into those categories. And I am selling products in like, I don't know, man, like 15, 20 different niches right now. It's insane. We're selling everything that we can think of, and just having amazing success, and doing it all in the same ad account too. We're scaling, you know, dozens of niches, same ad account, same store. Like the industry's crazy right now. I'm loving it. Can you help with a shipping agent or fulfillment company? Yeah, so head over to titan3pl.com. I can actually type in here. Sorry, I've never used this feature. Yeah, so titan3pl.com, guys. If you guys, you need to be using processing 20 orders per day in order for us to set you up, because if you're not doing 20 a day, then it almost doesn't make sense from your perspective or from ours to partner up, because it probably end up costing you more money, and we want to save you money and add value to your business. All right, so Kyle, do you list shipping times, delays on your product pages or on checkout confirmation emails? In confirmation emails, yeah. So we'll have like shipping time estimates in the confirmation emails, and that can definitely help. It won't get rid of your problems, but it will generally set at least an expectation in the customer's mind. Okay, so they'll say, if it says, you know, 14 days, 21 days or something like that, at least they're not thinking it's going to show up in 3 days and then get very angry. They're going to be initially frustrated that it's going to take that long, but at least you've set the expectation, and you're going to run into less disputes and chargebacks. Tons of emails about asking where your order is at. Yeah, it's just kind of how it is right now. But a lot of people are understanding. Just be like, you know, here's the situation due to, you know, COVID-19. You probably go to like UPS.com, and I guarantee you they have probably a banner on their website. I'm just imagining every shipping carrier probably has a banner on their website that says, due to COVID-19, we're experiencing shipping delays. Like that's something you could just, copy paste and give to your customers. Everybody's aware that the world is in turmoil and shipping times are delayed. So most people are understanding. Okay, done with that. Okay, so Jimmy wants to know, isn't 2 audiences too little to test a product? I strongly disagree with that. I know that the majority of the coaches out there are telling people 10 interests, 10 different audiences. And I don't like that strategy. So the reason for that is because I think it's a waste of money. Now, I'd rather test 2 interests on 5 different products than 10 interests on 1. Now, it's how you want to spend your money. If you want to test 10 interests, that's fine. But I think Facebook has so much data on people that when you put shoes in and you're selling shoes, it's going to find people that are looking to buy shoes. I try 2 different interests because I do find there's a little bit of deviation in the performance, but the advantage gained from running 10 interests compared to 2 is so marginal that I feel like your money is better spent on testing more products. And I feel like there is a drastic difference in performance when you separate Europe, US, and worldwide. There's a drastic difference there, and it drastically improves your performance when you head into the initial stages of scaling. So a lot of people will group the countries together, but I find that that's detrimental to your potential in scaling. And that's just my experience in spending, millions of dollars in ads. Like, I just start to see these patterns emerge and I adjust my strategy based on that. Anonymous attendee, do you still suggest running apparel and shoes? I've stayed away, but I'm tempted. My suggestion with apparel in general is just that it's very high risk, guys. You're gonna have chargebacks, you're gonna have disputes. Even if you had perfect quality clothing, there's going to be, I think you can do a Google search on how many exchanges and returns there are for e-commerce websites that sell apparel, like good quality apparel. It's super freaking high, guys. And now you're selling Chinese size clothing to Americans. It's just, you're going to have a ton of problems. If you sell only clothing, I promise you're going to lose your processor and your PayPal account in less than 2 months. It happens every time. You have to diversify. Maybe 20% of your products can be apparel and the rest have to be other niches if you plan on doing this long term. Max said, are you experiencing inconsistency with Facebook ads right now? Really low winner life cycles? No. I have several winners right now that have been running for 4 months. And I have winners that are still running now that I had running before Chinese New Year's. And they're still working very well. So I would not blame Facebook ads. Maybe it could be page performance, it could be ad account performance, it could just be the product, it could be the audience has been taxed out. There's so many different variables. It's very easy to just say Facebook ads is acting up, because that's like a really general way of finding a bad guy, but it's almost never that. There's only been 1 instance in the entire time that I've done dropshipping where I can confidently say that Facebook ads took a shit and it bombed all my ads. There was only 1 time, and that was March of last year. I remember it very specifically. I lost a bunch of money because I went from making $15,000 profit a day on this 1 store to going negative 20,000 overnight. All the ads bombed, and it was all over the Facebook groups. Everybody was like, oh my God, all of my ads just died. That's the only time I've ever seen it happen. So I would stay away from that mindset of blaming Facebook ads and start thinking about the things that you have control of. Hester wants to know, do I do product research on AliExpress? Yes, I do. I use Taobao 1688 as well. My team tries to test 50 per week. And let's see, do you shoot custom content for most of the products you tested? Maybe for big winners. We don't shoot custom content for everything. Like that, the shoes that I used for the webinar here were basically, that's just an AliExpress image, and I ran that product for 9 months, like without changing it. So, don't don't overthink it. If it's a winning product, it's just going to sell. I'm going to try to find some questions here that are a little bit more related to the hybrid scaling technique. Let's see here. I'm using 7-day click window, guys, for the ads, pretty much almost exclusively. Now, there are times I do test 1-day click with my expanded scaling. So when we get into expanded scaling, I usually switch it over to 1-day click, but I want to say that the difference is very marginal. Would you use the hybrid method on products that are inconsistent and not winners, or with stable winners too? So I use the hybrid method on pretty much every product that gets a sale but doesn't scale. If it doesn't scale, or it dies off really fast, I just jump into hybrid. I'm willing to spend the $300 to test it out, because that's what you're spending. It's $30 across 6 ad sets for 2 days. Maximum you're going to spend is $360 to try it out. And the success rate that I'm seeing justifies that spending, because it's working on, maybe 20 to 30% of the products I tested on, it's working on. So if my success rate is already 10 to 20%, I'm jumping up to, 30, 40, 50% with this, 60%. I've had weeks where I've had several weeks over the past couple of months where my winning rate is like 80%. Like almost everything I put up ends up being scalable. And it's kind of ridiculous. I know you guys can't expect that same result because you're not at the same level of product research as I am, but I can tell you that it's doubled my win rate consistently. And so that makes it, it's going to make a big difference for everybody. Has there anything new in your scaling strategy outside of hybrid? No. When it comes to interest, do you usually take the most obvious, and how do you choose the 2 interests? Yeah, so Corey, I pick the most obvious interest with shoes. Like those were kind of dress shoes. So the most obvious for me would have been dress shoe or Oxford, something like that. That's what I would have gone with for the first interest if I was really testing that product. And then the next one would have been like sneakers, or maybe I would go a little bit further outside the box and I would do like suit or formal clothes, because that's what you're going to wear Oxfords with. You're wearing with formal clothes. And so that second interest would be like a little bit outside the box. Expanded in phase 7 worked well. Would you suggest testing LLAs too? Yes, Sanjiv, I would definitely recommend, if expanded scaling worked in phase 7, you could totally jump into lookalikes, 100%. Sarah says, don't you think it's too steep to spend $360 in every product that gets a sale? I would say that's why I said I have taken a higher risk approach to this strategy than most people. And that's because my win rate has been so ridiculous with it that I'm like, screw it, I'm testing it on everything. And for you guys, that's why I said, ideal, safe way to do this is going to be on a product that didn't scale, but it got sales consistently for like 1 to 2 weeks. Or, maybe it got a sale every single day for 5 or 6 days, but the ROAS was kind of low and it was only like 1 ad set or something. That's going to be the ideal product for you guys to test this on, because there was a little bit of consistency and a little bit of more proof involved before you jumped into it. But for me, it's like, as soon as my product gets a sale and it's not like obviously a hot winner, day 2, I'm like, this is either a hot winner or it's not. I can tell right away. And if it's not a hot winner, then I'm like, hybrid scaling, jump right into it. Let's see. When you duplicate the $30 CBO 5 more times, are all 6 campaigns identical? Yes, they're all identical. So this is how we kind of mitigate the inconsistency of CBO. CBO is very inconsistent, but if you launch 6 campaigns identical 6 campaigns, and you find consistency in that, then you have a good product. CBO's working for that product. So you're trying to prove consistency in something that has a tendency to be inconsistent. And when you've made that proof by having a majority of those campaigns profitable, then you're onto something, right? We're always trying to find proof before we move to the next step, because that's going to drastically increase your percentage chance of staying profitable. What scenarios are there where you don't use hybrid scaling? If something just bombs, man, like, sometimes, a product will just not get any sales. I won't test it. You guys are going to have to determine, this is another budgeting question on how, it's a $360 investment if you want to try this on a product. So you're going to have to determine whether or not you want to try it. And I would suggest trying it on a product that has a greater chance of success than something that's very high risk. Like I'm saying, if it gets 1 sale, just try it. But if, maybe 2 or 3 ad sets got sales and they weren't scalable, right? So in a winning product, we're looking for 4 ad sets have sales and 4 of them are profitable over a course of 3 to 4 days. That's a really good winning product. But let's say 2 to 3 got sales and they weren't scalable. You couldn't raise the budgets. That's going to be a lower risk product for hybrid scaling. No, we don't do page posts anymore. We do automatic placements. That was all posted in the VIP group and also in the last Facebook ads webinar. I don't use Bitly links. I just put the store link in there, guys. Jimmy, we're using CBO with the strategy because that's what works. It's just what works, man. Like I can't really give you any other reason for this except for that I've spent a lot of money finding a way to make this work, and that's how it worked. And so that's what I'm teaching. There's no I'm going to give you what I've proven through basically science, right? Like this is all data proven. And that's why I'm telling you CBO. Trevor said default is 7-day click, which in the last webinar he advised 1-day click review. I have always said 7-day click for most ad sets. I only say 1-day click for the expanded scaling. That's the only time I've ever recommended. I'm pretty sure. But I've always said that the difference is marginal. It's not going to make a difference. It's going to work regardless if it's going to work. Or it's not going to work regardless if it's not going to work. I'd say that if there's any degree of optimization in there, it's probably too minute to even notice. Yeah, Aiden wants to know when would you incorporate lookalikes? I'm honestly not hardly using lookalikes at all right now. I would say that after phase 7, you could use them. You could test them out if you want, but the majority of the lookalike results that I've seen have been inconsistent enough to literally just not use it and just expand it at this point. And the lookalikes that have worked have been very low budget. And with the hybrid, you've already got the low budget thing going. So I don't know if it's really necessary. Sarah, you said why worldwide when you can't ship to all countries? Why not ePacket? Because that's my strategy and that's what works. And we remove the countries that we can't ship to from the shipping options in our store. And if customers can't check out from certain countries, then over time, Facebook will stop optimizing to those countries. And so that's the way it works. That's the way I've always taught it. And we have the results to prove it. That's really all I can say about that. My strategy is different than most people, and that is one of the ways that it is different from most people. Peter wants to know, how do you handle the lead time when scaling a product from 30 to 500, 1,000, 5,000? A lot of factories don't carry stocks. Titan 3PL handles that for me. I mean, the issue is the majority of manufacturing processes in China, like you can get all the units you need made in like 2 weeks. So worst case scenario, you're looking at a 4-week lead time from when you need it, from when you run out to when the product gets delivered to the customer. You look at maybe 4 weeks max. That's not a customer service nightmare. It's not. I've been through way worse. I've been through 3 months delays and mitigated almost 99% of chargebacks. So I'm really not concerned with it. I've been through that situation hundreds of times now, and it's like, it's just, I don't even think about it. You know, when Titan 3PL notices that I'm scaling a product up, they just communicate with the factory and they let me know, hey, look, it's going to be 11 days before we have inventory for this product, and so I'll stop scaling, or I'll keep scaling. You know, it just depends on the situation, and it's a risk that you need to decide whether or not you want to take. But for me, it's not that big of a deal. Zach says, when do you create a Facebook page for a winner? I just scale it. If you were to launch it from a new page, you'd lose some of the optimization there. I just scale it from the original page. So I'm trying to find some more. Max said, do you limit the amount Facebook should spend on the ad sets and CBO? No, and that's why I didn't show it when I was going through the strategy. I do not set minimums and maximums for this method. It's pure AI managed. Okay, so John says, just to clarify, for phase 7, you duplicate the initial ad set 3 times and put them on expanded. Correct, no CBO. That's why I'm saying you go back into ad set budgets for expanded interest, no targeting, and high budgets. Anonymous attendee wants to know, does phase 3 of hybrid work well for winners that are doing well with ad set budgets? I'm sure that it would, but I think that my other scaling strategy works best for strong winners. Okay, that's why this is a scaling strategy for the B and C winners. This is the cleanup crew. This is the method that we use for the products that otherwise wouldn't have scaled well with my original technique. But I'm sure it would. If you're not completely familiar with my other scaling strategy, then maybe this is a good way to go for you. Rulon says he has 15 products that didn't scale properly just in the last month. Dude, yeah, jump right into this, man. I want to see your results. So all you guys, you know, I'd love for you to share results with me from this method. Let me know how it goes for you. And I also, I don't know if there's a way for me to send you guys a link here. But basically, I'm going to send you guys a link. Maybe I'll have to, I guess I'll have to email it to you. There's a way to type on here. I feel like I'm Zoom retarded. Anyways, I'll send you guys a link. Basically, it's 60% off of any of the other products that I have. So if you haven't seen the product research webinar, you don't have keys to consistency. If you're not in the VIP group, these are all things that are going to be 60% off just for you guys that came live, okay? And the deal is only good for 1 day because I don't want a whole bunch of people jumping in there and taking advantage of this discount. It's too big for me to just blast it around. And keep in mind that starting May 1st, the VIP group is going to be a paid service. It's going to be a monthly subscription to get into the VIP group because it is basically a 24/7 mentorship with me. It's like this. You guys ask me questions, I answer. That's how the Facebook group works. And there's just so much value there, and the group's growing so big that it's taking up a ton of my time and I can't keep doing it for free. It's taking away from other things that do make me money. So, but if you get in before May 1st, you'll be grandfathered in and you will never have to pay for it. But after May 1st, if you decide to get the course, then you're going to need to pay the monthly fee. So just wanted to get that out there, and look in your email, your inboxes for a link to the that special discount. Trying to find some more questions related to the webinar here. So Aiden said, could you do 3 CBO campaigns at $30 each instead of 6 to limit the spending if you're on a tight budget? You totally could. I would honestly rather see you do 6 campaigns at $15 than 3 at 30. And the reason is because we're trying to find campaigns. Remember, the optimization for CBO happens at the campaign level. So much like in ad set scaling, the ad sets have their own DNA, and some of them, for whatever reason, will outperform all of the others because they just optimize better. The same thing's going to happen with CBO. So you want to have 6 of them, and you want to see consistency across them, because if you see consistency across all 6 or across the majority of the 6, then that is evidence, it's proof, it's statistical proof that this is a strong product for this method. That's what you need. You need to have proof every single step of the way. You need to be proving what you're doing before you move to the next step. I'm just reading questions. Don't mean to go silent on you guys here. Trying to find some stuff that's seem important. It's like every time you guys vote, it like resets my screen, so I have to scroll back. David Fowler wants to know if this strategy will work on dying winners. It could potentially. I would say that it will never scale high, but it is a good horizontal method. It is a good low budget method, and so it could be a way to extend the life cycle, and it could be worth your time. I would try it personally. So Sarah says, this could be a risky method if you essentially let CBO campaigns spend for a few days at $30, but what if you keep getting a few purchases? In reality, you're losing money the whole time. You should never let something run that's losing money. So you're always looking at your 3 to 4 day average window span, and you're looking at data 3 or 4 days. And if it's not profitable, you turn it off. So that's why I explained the phases. You let it spend 60 before you make a decision, okay? And at 60, it should be profitable. And if it's not, you turn it off. And then you're letting it spend for 2 or 3 more days, right? And then if it's not profitable, you turn it off. So there's no point where you're letting an unprofitable campaign run. There's no risk. You turn it off when it's not profitable. The only risk is the initial launch. When you're launching that $360 worth of campaigns, that's the risk. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because it's a risk that's worth taking. So Rulan says he has several products that make 3 to 4 sales in the first day, and then they never get another sale. It's a perfect product for this strategy. Perfect. Peter said shipping cost is raising. How to combat that? Yeah, we talked. I think you asked that question in the VIP group as well, and somebody answered it. You just need to pick products that have better margins. That is information that you have at your disposal. You know that the costs are going up, so you need to apply that to your product research. And then you only test products that you think you can make a margin on. And if and then you're not running stuff that's not profitable. So it's, you know, it's always just, every bit of this is always just a math question. Yeah, written version. Yeah, I'm gonna type this out, send you guys a quick email, and then that way you guys have the steps laid out. But again, we covered the strategy at the beginning of this to make sure that when you want to watch the replay, should be pretty easy. I could even have, you know what, I'll have my team do timestamps, so you guys, when you guys can get into the course, you'll actually see, like, skip to this minute to see phase 1 or phase 2 or whatever. That'll probably be very helpful. No, I don't do page posts anymore. This has been discussed many times. If you guys are in the VIP group, you have this information. Yeah, don't forget to turn your ads off. Yeah, I gotta, let's do that. I don't wanna. Sorry. Just sending traffic to Titan 3PL with a shoe image. It's okay. I'll try to get that written version out to you guys tonight. I'm just gonna do it right now once we get off of this. And I think that's enough for the questions. Most of you guys, from what I understand, are in the VIP group. So please just, you know, if you have any questions about this, you know, you can always message me on Instagram or in the VIP group. You know, I did say I wasn't going to share this strategy in the VIP group, so I probably won't go into a whole lot of detail in there, but I'll do my best to help you guys, and I'll send you the written version. And yeah, I think that's good. Let me see here. Yeah, we're about an hour in. So, just quickly scanning the questions again to see if there's anything in there. Keep an eye. Remember, I'm going to send you an email, guys, here really quick with the discount. For 60% off of everything that I offer. Biggest discount I can give you, so pretty excited about that. Hopefully you guys take advantage. Hopefully you guys get in the VIP group. That's really the biggest value that I have to offer, is the ability to have these questions answered 7 days a week. I mean, that's, you know, I'm in there all day. So anyways, that's it, guys. That is the hybrid scaling method. You will have the access to the replay. You should already have access to the section of the Titan Vault's where I keep everything. And so once this video is done recording, I have to render the file, all that stuff, and then upload it into Titan Vault. It should be done in the next couple of hours. And so as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna send you a link to the discount, and then I'll send you another email this evening with the written version of these phases, so that you guys can kind of follow along. And I'll try to get timestamps in the video and all that stuff too. So thank you everybody for showing up. Don't forget to DM me, shoot me results that you guys get from this. I'm really excited to see it help you with your businesses, help you with your products. You know, we're just making the most out of what we're already doing. If we're already testing 20 products a week and you can scale 3 or 4 more of those, that's over the course of a year, that's going to be a lot of extra money you're going to make. So hopefully this helps you guys out. I'm really excited, and I'm very confident that it will. So thank you guys. Again, check your email here in like 15 minutes or so. I'll get something over to you. But that is all for now. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. And I will see you guys around. Peace out. Thanks, everybody.